Hello, and welcome. Zonta International District 18 is pleased that you wish to learn more about Zonta in Madagascar.
Zonta District 18, part of Zonta International, has clubs in several African countries, including Ghana, Benin, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Madagascar, Republic of Congo, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Togo, and Uganda. The district recently held its 27th conference in Accra, Ghana, this past weekend, which coincided with 55 years of Zonta in Africa.
Today you will learn more about Madagascar, get a look at amazing project, meet passionate members and hear from leaders making a difference. You will also hear about critical development happening now in Madagascar. So sit back and enjoy the journey with us.
Hello, I'm Bernadette Jorgensen, Area Director 3, District 18. At the occasion of this fundraising for the Zonta Club of Madagascar, I would like to present this club. The Madagascar Club is a young club of 15 members that was chartered on April 2024. And one of the particularity of the club, it is a club which is gender diverse, 11 women and 4 men. And also it has age diversity. 8 members are between 40 and 55, and there are 8 youth members aged between 22 to 35. The Zonta Club of Madagascar intervention aim at improving the life of women. They are conducted in both rural and urban areas, essentially aiming to empower women financially while promoting their rights, especially fighting violence and abuse against women through awareness raising and training. The club flagship project for 2025 is training session for this year. It started in February 2025 by earning a living through acquired skills and competence. Those competences are in cooking, making pastries, and sewing, hence being able to manage financially in a life that is quite difficult. The biggest challenge facing Madagascar is the poverty that affects the society in general, and it is getting worse every day, even impacting the club members. Madagascar Club strength has been to successful launch and continue project and action despite the difficulties. The club goal and hope is to face those challenges little by little in the hope and with the goal of creating a better world for women and girls. I have to say that I have been working with the president, Nomena, and she's very active and very responsive and always try to find a solution. And if she can't, she always is willing to ask for help and for advice. That is one of the things which is really a big strength of the club. So please, if you could help the Club of Madagascar raise some money to continue the activities, it is really a good investment in this young club. Thank you very much.
Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining. I'm Nomena, President of Zonta Club of Madagascar. The members of our club are so grateful you're here to learn more about Madagascar and Zonta's impactful work here. Today, we'll look at Madagascar, a basic overview and an intimate glimpse of the realities of daily living. Review Zonta International Service Projects here. You'll meet some of our club members as we share what our club has been doing in the brief time since our charter. Finally, I'll open the floor for a few moments of question and answers, so sit back and relax Let's begin.
When people hear Madagascar, they often think of the movie. A tropical island with majestic landscapes, lemurs, baobabs, turquoise waters. And yes, that's part of the truth. But do you know the real Madagascar? The one you don't see on TV or on social media? In Madagascar, nearly 80% of people live on less than $2 a day. That's less than a coffee in Paris, or a large latte at Starbucks in New York. Could you live on just $55 a month? That's what many spend on a single dinner for two. Now, imagine using that money to feed your whole family. Pay for school, transportation, medicine, month after month. And imagine doing it without electricity, without internet. Look at this image. These students are taking their final exam in the dark. And it's not just any exam. It's their high school diploma, the gateway to their future. For them, for many Malagasy people, this is not an occasional struggle. It's a permanent state of survival. And women and girls carry the heaviest burden. Many young girls never finish school. They stay home to help their mothers work. Some even beg in the streets, just to bring something home for dinner. Their childhood vanishes under the weight of responsibility. But there is hope. Zonta Madagascar is taking action, and so can you. We work hand in hand with women and girls across the country, empowering them through education, vocational training, access to healthcare, and protection from gender-based violence. Zonta Madagascar needs your support to keep going and reach more lives. With just $2 a day, you can help a girl stay in school. You can give her a future to believe in. Because when you empower one girl, you lift an entire family. You lift a generation.
Zonta International has implemented various projects in Madagascar, focusing on education, climate change, and empowering women and girls. Past initiatives include Let Us Learn Madagascar, 2016 to 2022, with UNICEF, which provided education for vulnerable children, and Engaging Girls on Climate Change, 2022 to 2024, with UNICEF USA, an environmental education program designed to enable children to learn in safe and inclusive environments, build climate-resilient communities, and support Madagascar in meeting water, sanitation and hygiene, abbreviated WASH, Sustainable Development Goals. Zonta's current project is Climate Empower, in partnership with UNFPA, providing a $1 million grant to address the impact of climate change on women and girls through training and community workshops.
Hello, my name is Shannon Riley, and I am the Programs and Events Manager at Zonta International. As the Programs Manager, it is my responsibility to manage the relationship between our international service projects and the partners. I was asked to speak about the international service projects and the process by which they are chosen. The process begins about 14 months prior to the start of the biennium. Zonta International and the president-elect send UN agencies and other organizations a request for proposal or an RFP. The proposal requests are then due back to Zonta headquarters by September for the president-elect to review. In November, the president-elect has selected 3 to 4 proposals to bring forward to the Zonta International and Zonta Foundation for Women boards. By the February board meeting, the boards have reviewed the proposals, they discuss all of them, and approve funding based on fundraising goals set for the upcoming biennium. The boards make the final decision on what projects to include in the biennium goals and what to propose at the international convention. The Zonta International headquarters sends out club biennium goals about 3 months prior to convention, which includes the descriptions of the proposed projects. At convention, the international service projects are presented to the convention body and voted on to move forward. Once the international service projects have been chosen and approved and voted on, the Zonta International headquarters and the partner agencies develop a memorandum of understanding. Within this legal document, parameters of payments, progress reports, financial reports, and promotional materials are laid out. The MOU is then signed by the international president of Zonta International and the executive director of the partner agencies. After this, the project activity is initiated and we move forward. I have a PowerPoint to show you a map of what this looks like. So as you can see, the president-elect starts where the star is at the top. This was where the RFP starts, the agencies then submitting their proposals, the board narrowing down the list of projects and approving them, and then the Zonta members voting at convention. The project agencies then submit the MOU, where we as headquarters and the Zonta International president review, and it is then signed. A payment plan is then made. Agencies submit periodic updates, and the project partnership officially ends at the end of each biennium, unless the partners were to submit a proposal for continuation for the next biennium. For the 2024 and 2026 international service projects, we have 3. The global program to end child marriage, LAHA. Our third project is Climate Empower to Gender Transformative Climate Action. The partner is UNFPA. This is focused in Madagascar, Mozambique, and South Sudan. It empowers communities to have gender awareness and climate crises solutions. Zonta International committed $1 million to this project. Thank you.
Learn more about Zonta International's projects. Go to the web, zonta.org, click on our programs, and select International Service Projects. From there, you can scroll down and see more on each of our 3 projects. And now, a little bit more about Climate Empower.
So this one is a project that we have officially kicked off and is in the very early stages. It's a Climate Empower project that is empowering women and building climate resilience across communities in East and Southern Africa. But just to give you a background why this project is important and critical for us is that at the moment within the climate work, climate-specific interventions that target gender equality as the primary objective is significantly underfunded. We have only 1.5% of official development assistance that is supporting this. We see that across displacement patterns, over 80% of women displaced by climate, and that increase in temperatures of 1.5 degrees C would force millions of people into extreme poverty, especially in regions that are already most vulnerable, which are the ones that are also on the front line of climate, and that's the same ones that have the highest rate of harmful practices, such as child marriage and FGM. Income loss of female-headed household with 1 degree temperature rise due to economic challenges induced by climate change. Droughts and floods are pervading the region. They're destroying crops and leaving families without income. Without income, such young people are forced into early marriages, which means that oftentimes they would have to drop out of school, losing the chance of really bettering their lives and fulfilling their potential. So we see a pathway where climate change is inducing economic hardship, but also exacerbating the risk of early marriage and GBV within this region. And for us, the solution is in one way to build community engagement, to build capacity of young people and women, and to empower them to become change agents. So the Climate Empower project is looking to train women as climate leaders, building knowledge and skills, to support young people to be champions of positive norms through inclusive, participatory, and enhanced ownership. of the environment, but also of climate resilience. We're also looking to create safe spaces for women to be able to innovate, to create solutions that enhance climate adaptation, but also foster positive social norms. This project would be in South Sudan, in Mozambique, in Madagascar. This is because of the high level of vulnerabilities of this country, but not only that, but also their low readiness to adapt and to respond to the impacts of climate change. They are amongst the world's most vulnerable countries to climate impact. This year, we're kicking off project planning. With that, we're now getting into the implementation phase, and we also have elements of monitoring through our colleagues in the country offices. By next year, we are looking to deepen the project implementation, also enhance the monitoring and reporting, and in 2027, we'll be exclusively focused on evaluation, reporting, and elements of monitoring. Our key objectives.
1. Help females become resilient agents against shocks and crises. And number 2, boost resilience to fight gender-based violence and discrimination.
The activities which are embedded into the component. There are 2 components of projects. One is focusing mostly on capacity building and empowerment, and the second component is focusing on innovation. Component 1 will be through capacity workshops, building and strengthening capacities of community members. There will be training resources that will be developed on addressing gender-based violence and also harmful social and gender norms. There will be community-level dialogue, documentation, and storytelling along the way. What we seek is an increased level of understanding, not just of climate change impact on women and girls in the community and the wider community, but also trying to, at the same time, foster a change in attitudes and beliefs that actually support women and girls and also have positive impact in their lives by being able to increase positive community attitudes and also reducing or trying to discourage or sway away a shift from the beliefs that are harmful in terms of the social norms as well as gender-based violence. And then with the community-led dialogue, our objective is to strengthen women and girls' participation and leadership.
Hi everyone! I am Flula Rakutmuji, and I am really happy to be a part of the Zonta Club of Madagascar.
I'm Priscilla, and I'm from Madagascar.
My name is Tuki, and I am proud to be a Zonta member because I live in a world where women and girls are respected and safe.
I'm Tina. I joined Zonta Club of Madagascar to improve living conditions for young girls and women who do not have access to education or job market.
Being a Zonta member, especially in the current context in Madagascar, means so much to me.
I joined Zonta because I've always wanted to make a meaningful impact to do something that helps women and girls just like me. In Madagascar, we all know how challenging life can be for many women, and I didn't want to just stand by and watch.
Zonta gives me a way to take action, support education, and raise awareness.
To me, being a Zonta member is being part of a global movement that really empowers women and girls. It's about raising our voices together, taking action, and making real change.
It is deeply unfair to see so many girls and women still denied basic rights like access to education. I have 3 daughters, and they are lucky to be able to go to school. And so when I see a young girl forced to work in the streets, or married off too young, or robbed of her childhood, I see one of my own daughters, and that is simply unbearable to me.
Zonta provided me with a platform where I can learn, share, and truly contribute. I love being surrounded by people who share the same joy and passion to support and empower women. This motivates me and gives me hope for the future.
I'm proud to be part of it because I know this fight for gender equality is crucial and every action matters.
Together we can stop violence against women and build a better future.
I sincerely hope that my involvement in a small way can offer them better opportunities, especially here in Madagascar.
Zonta gives me hope. It is a powerful reminder that we are not alone in this fight. I'm proud to stand alongside people who are turning that belief into action, especially here in Madagascar, where the need is so urgent.
I'm young and committed to projects and initiatives that contribute to the development for my country. I'm married to my Zakasu and I'm passionate to environmental protections and biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. And in my work, I clearly see how local women are often left out to conservation projects, but yet women too have a voice. That's why I joined Zonta Club of Madagascar. It's a way for me to speak up and to do my part for defending women's rights and also to extend my knowledge and my network for the sustainable development for Madagascar.
We are Zonta Club of Madagascar, women's rights defenders.
Education,
Health,
freedom,
and equality.
Next, an interview with the club president.
You were the club chair who worked to make this club. What did you hope to accomplish by putting a live club in the Madagascar area?
First of all, I joined Zonta because I like these goals and objectives. This motivated me to create the club here in Madagascar. Launching Zonta Club of Madagascar in this mission could build a better world for women and girls in my country through empowering them in different ways. We could take part of making them strong mentally, physically, and financially. Life is so different nowadays, so we prefer to work with young people.
Speaking of young people, do you have many young people in your club?
Yes, young people are very needed. It's necessary to balance everything in the club. 46% of our club members are young professionals.
It's wonderful that you engage the youth. Your projects. The Club of Madagascar has only existed for a short while, yet you have completed many projects. What have you been doing?
Yes, thank you. We provide training projects like sewing, cooking, baking, literacy, self-esteem, composting, and so.
You're doing trainings. You actually get together with people and they sit and you teach them. How did your club choose those projects?
5 months ago, after our charter event in 2024, we deliberately went down to the ground talking, offering some trainings. Then we carry out a survey on which trainings they want and why. We accepted their choice. It's most important to educate in different ways instead of giving some aids every time.
Yes, the old give a man a fish, he has food for the day. Teach a man to fish, he has food for life. In this case is a lady. Yes. Local challenges. What are the most pressing issues for women and girls in your community?
People are struggling. Poverty hits women and girls hardest. It stops them from living safe and happy lives. When families are poor, they can't always get enough food, good schooling, or proper clothing. These basic needs are human rights that everyone, especially kids, should have.
Yes, I agree with you. How does weather and climate in Madagascar affect your projects?
The challenges are the extreme heat and drought.
I understand that the heat is getting worse in Madagascar. Is that true?
Yes, yes. In the center of Madagascar, in the capital, it means the high temperature is 26, 27 Celsius. But outside of Antananarivo, it's more.
So that would translate to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit in the city. And in your farming communities, it's hotter? Wow.
Yes.
I can't imagine doing that kind of physical work outside in that kind of temperature. Water is a big problem for Madagascar. It seems like you either have too much or not enough.
Yes, of course.
You have too much. What happens to your streets in the city? Can people go to work?
No.
Streets are blocked.
Yes,
meaning you have to go into the road because there's so much water.
Yes.
And then people miss work?
Yes, of course. For example, during my working day in Antananarivo, I couldn't go out.
You can't even leave your house. That must
Yes.
make it hard for your club meetings because you meet in person, correct? And now if the person lives somewhere where there's no electricity, then they can't even go on Zoom with you.
Yes. In the capital, there is a sanitation problem in addition to the flooding.
And then when you have drought,
poverty blocks people to buy something.
Even as simple as water. They have to buy a bottle of water, but if they have no money, they cannot buy safe water.
Not every people can buy a bottle of water. For example, in the center of Antananarivo, where I lived, in my house, no water. My man who works gathering and bringing water to you, he got only 2,000 ariary for 80 liters. Once again, it's so heavy, but only 2,000 ariary. And one day I asked him, why didn't you ask? Please more, give us a little bit more, not 2,000. And they told me, please, madam, it's difficult for us to ask them because they said every time, I'll pay you tomorrow or after tomorrow. And they understand this situation.
It's very kind of them.
It's so hard. It's so hard.
One time we were talking and you looked so tired. You said to me, you had to go out at 1 a.m. to get the water jugs filled. Where did you have to go to get the water jugs filled?
We wait for this
for them to arrive.
Yes, but the water is, it's nothing, 80 liters. Washing for 20 liters. Me and my husband. So 40 liters for washing a little bit. And the rest for cooking. And you know, the toilet needs water too.
Oh my heavens. Your club is located in the capital city of Madagascar. How much is the average monthly earnings of Malagasy city people?
Oh, this topic is so difficult to address. The capital is the place where people generally like to move and live. They think they can find jobs and earn easy money there. So people look for side jobs to earn money.
The average person's monthly earnings, again, please.
The agricultural sector tends to earn slightly more than the non-agricultural, and that averages to be about $60 a month.
I would imagine that with such poverty, the typical fundraising actions that other clubs in the world conduct won't work in Madagascar. What would you do if your club had more money?
Okay. Financial contributions help us to pay this next step of trainings. paying our expenses like transport, renting room, credit cards, tools and equipments, and so. It's the reason we plan and prepare the new projects to found the Zonta Center in the future. Because now we need to find every time places where to do the training.
Oh, it changes every time?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
that must be
challenges,
difficult. Yes.
of course.
And you do them monthly, right? You do your trainings monthly?
No, nowadays it's twice a week. Twice a week, yes.
That's 8 times in a month.
Yes, and sometimes more.
Wow, I had no idea.
So it's a continuing training.
Oh, I see. So you're
Yes.
doing them. You started out once a month, but now you're doing them multiple times in a week.
Yes.
Wow.
Once a month is nothing. If you want to give some details to them, you need more times for trainings.
I see. How many people generally attend each training class?
Generally, it's about 100 people, 100 women and girls.
You are
Yes.
really affecting a lot of people. Do you charge people to come to these trainings?
No, it's gratis. It's offering to them.
Beautiful. I'm sure they're very grateful. It's your service project to your community.
Yes.
What message would you like to share with potential donors today?
First of all, thank you very much for watching and following this video. We encourage and need your cooperation to help and achieve these works. Training may be small and light compared to the greatness of Zonta, but for the beginning, we're doing what's really need first. Thank you for supporting Zonta Club of Madagascar projects. Madagascar women and girls would be grateful for your support. And especially with Zonta Club of Madagascar and you, we are going together to build a better world for them.
That's nice. I love that. I think I can speak for all the Zontians. They're very proud of the work that you are doing. So exciting, very exciting.
Thank you for your support and thank you for this interview. It's very important to us because we need support to achieve our goals for women and girls in Madagascar.
Yes. Thank you, Nomina.
Thank you.
Our mission is simple but powerful. Equip women and girls with the tools, knowledge, and support they need to achieve independence, dignity, and leadership. Zonta Madagascar believes that when women thrive, entire communities rise. Zonta Madagascar trains women and girls to learn, grow, and take charge of their future. In recent months, we train about self-esteem, cooking workshops, sewing. Trainings are led by members of Zonta and occasionally carried out in partnership with the Equilibri Association. We also raise awareness and open discussions about violence against women. Together, we build a better world for women and girls.
So what happened in Madagascar recently? Well, as the Zonta Club prepared for this online event, national protests broke out around the capital city where the club is based. Though the members were not involved in the violent protests, they were affected. Their trainings were delayed for weeks, and one member lost her job after her workplace was destroyed by fire. The following newscast explains more fully what happened.
So, Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina has fled the country after weeks of escalating protests against his rule. The demonstrations, driven largely by Gen Z activists, reached a breaking point on Saturday, 11 October. Here, an elite unit of the military joined the protesters and demanded that the president and several ministers resign. When Rajoelina first assumed power in 2009, he promised to lift living standards for ordinary Malagasy people. But that was no small task. Madagascar, home to about 30 million people with a median age under 20, remains one of the world's poorest nations. and according to the World Bank, its GDP per capita fell by nearly half between independence in 1960 and 2020. As Madagascar struggled to recover from the economic and social fallout of COVID-19, President Andry Rajoelina became known for bold and often controversial claims. In 2020, he championed a herbal drink called COVID Organics, claiming it would cure the virus within days. This particular remedy, made from local plants, was promoted across Africa despite the lack of any clinical evidence. Andry Rajoelina's flair for headline-grabbing ideas didn't stop there. In 2022, he told a room of international investors that Madagascar was ready to offer tax exemptions to anyone willing to import giraffes, zebras, and elephants from mainland Africa. This was an attempt, he said, to attract tourists. Well, this plan was never implemented. But beneath the grand gestures, corruption and governance issues continued to weigh down on Madagascar. Rajoelina's administration claimed to be strengthening anti-corruption efforts, tighter financial oversight, digital reforms, and greater transparency. His 2023 re-election, however, was marred by unrest. Opposition leaders accused him of manipulating the system to stay in power and argued that he should have been disqualified after secretly obtaining French citizenship in 2014. Protests erupted for weeks ahead of the vote, setting the stage for the instability that would soon engulf his presidency. Meanwhile, ordinary Malagasy citizens struggled to survive amid constant power cuts and water shortages. Tensions in the country began to rise after the arrest of two prominent city politicians on September 19, 2025. They had planned a peaceful protest in the capital, Antananarivo, to demand action on the worsening electricity and water crises. Across the city, daily blackouts stretched for hours. Public anger spread quickly. Civil society groups rallied in support, and a youth-led online movement calling itself Gen Z Mada emerged as the face of the resistance. Soon, the protests grew beyond Antananarivo. Demonstrations erupted in at least 8 other cities across the island. The banners were simple but powerful: end corruption, fix the blackouts, and give the people their dignity back. Others accused the government of doing nothing for 16 years while enriching itself. Their movement echoed similar Gen Z uprisings across the world, from Nepal to Morocco, where ruling elites had also faced public fury. The protests in Madagascar turned deadly in their early days. The United Nations reported that at least 22 people were killed, some by security forces, others during looting and clashes. Rajoelina's grip on power began to crumble when he lost support of CAPSAT, the elite military unit that had helped him seize control in 2009. Over the weekend of 11 October 2025, surreal scenes unfolded in the capital as soldiers marched side by side with protesters, even refusing to fire on them. CAPSAT announced it was siding with the people.
A military unit in Madagascar says it's taking control of the armed forces, and it comes as dozens of soldiers have joined protests calling on President Andry Rajoelina to resign.
From now on, all orders of the Malagasy Army, whether land, air, or the Navy, will originate from CAPSAT headquarters. Furthermore, we invite the Malagasy people and all of those in the General Staff to work together to protect the people and the property for the good of all and for the homeland.
The military no longer stood with the president. They even held a formal ceremony in the presence of senior officers to announce their support for the uprising. For all intents and purposes, I think Andry Rajoelina's time as the head of state and president of Madagascar is done. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Tatenda for African Biographics. Until next time, cheers. Have a good one.
Well, he certainly was correct, because on October 17th, a mere 22 days after the violent protests began, Madagascar's military leader was sworn in as president. This goes to show how determined the Gen Z generation in Madagascar is to make change, and how willing they are to work for it. Well, we certainly hope you have enjoyed this presentation touching on a little of the country of Madagascar, the International Service Projects of Zonta International, and the activities and the members of the new club, Zonta Club of Madagascar. We hope that you'll be inclined to support their actions, and we thank you for your attention. At this time, we will open the floor for questions and answers.